Good afternoon. So today I wanted to explore some of the conflict that is happening in southern Thailand in 2022, and I want to address the four fundamental questions. So firstly, what kind of conflict are we dealing with? And it's a conflict in southern Thailand that's primarily an interstate conflict, and it involves insurgent groups within the country. So secondly, when is this conflict taking place? So like I said, it was in 2022, but the conflict has actually been going on for several decades, all the way back to about the mid 20th century. And then moving on to the relevant parties. So the parties that are involved here are the Thai government and various like insurgent groups. So basically, the big one is BRN, the Barisan Revolusi Nasional. Not 100% sure how to say that correctly, but I hope that was close. Now that seeks basically they kind of want out of the Thailand government's ruling. So they want to be independent and they kind of push back with a lot of force to that problem, or I guess causing the problem. So they essentially want independence for the southern regions in Thailand. And now the developments in 2022 that might have made Crisis Group kind of keep track of this conflict is that there's a continuation of dialogue between the Thai government as well as the BRN. So there's been efforts to reduce the violence caused, like bombings and murders. And there's also public consultation, trying to kind of keep the peace in southern Thailand, which is causing quite a lot of problems down there, especially for people in their daily lives, which we will touch on in a little bit here. Now, moving on to the geopolitical context in southern Thailand. So it actually has a very close proximity to Malaysia, which plays a really big part in the dynamics of what's going on. So Malaysia serves as a very crucial player in kind of helping the dialogue between BRN and the Thai government. It's extremely close, as you can see down here. Southern provinces such as Narathiwat are a skip away from Malaysia, so it's extremely close. Um, Essentially, they want to kind of help out the Thai government and kind of get rid of some of this violence. And the reason it's so the value from being so close is that it has unique leverage and influence, being that it is so close. So they are trying to help solve some of these problems. And also, the presence of BRN leaders and fighters in Malaysia kind of adds another layer of complexity on top of the problem that's already going on. Um, Malaysia, being the fact that they support the peace talks, kind of raises questions about its loyalty, I guess, when it comes to whose side it's on. Um, it hosts BRN members, but also meditates between conflicting parties. So it kind of gets misconstrued on which side they're on. So that can cause a little of tension. Even though they are trying to help, it does kind of cause like a bit of rivalry between whose side are you on. There's also spillover effects due to the fact that Malaysia is so close. Basically, the instability in Thailand has repercussions in Malaysia as it threatens their own security and stability, specifically in places close to the border like Naruthawat. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. I hope I'm saying it correctly, but basically where those common border crossings are is kind of hard to regulate, and sometimes stuff goes on there like bombings and all that, which can cause a little bit more problems. So kind of understanding the role that Malaysia plays here in southern Thailand, even though they're not southern Thailand, they do play a big part in trying to keep the peace here as they do kind of act as a mediator. It is kind of crucial to understanding what is going on in southern Thailand. So lastly, the point I touched on earlier is that how this is affecting other people's lives in southern Thailand, which is actually quite brutal. So brace yourself for the next photo you are going to see. The picture you see on your screen is a bombing and kind of remains of a destruction of a truck in Earthawait. And as you can see in the background, there is the town there, and people are just trying to go about their daily lives. But this is kind of affecting people's daily lives in a very extreme way. There's ongoing violence and instability, which disrupts everybody's lives, no matter what it is. I mean, imagine if you were a street side merchant here and you just saw a truck on fire or get blown up, you probably A, disrupt your business, and B, um, ruin your day as well as the image of your town. It's not like these are very high traffic places, so it kind of impacts the economy as well. Um, so basically the frequent of militant attacks, BRN and Thai government conflict has a lot of problems interrupting people's lives, not letting them live to their fullest, seeing as their resources are being used up by both of those in order to try and regain peace. But there's obviously protests like you see in this picture here. It does actually impede on people's safety. I mean, I feel like that would be pretty obvious. Um, if you're on the street and something like this happens, or if a bomb goes off, there was another bombing that I saw. It was on the side of a street, and there was a large bombing, left craters in the road, and it really takes away from people's safety and I guess security in their own town. Um, there's also this kind of breakdown of law and order in these places. So there's socioeconomic properties and problems and poverty. So basically, these two groups are kind of fighting with each other. So it's kind of like a lawless land a little bit. The military tries to push back, but BRN is also there to push back as well. So it kind of gets misconstrued on who rules, what the laws are, and stuff like that. And repercussions are also kind of hard to gauge. There's also that psychological problem. You will probably have PTSD living in one of these places. Trauma and stress due to violence is obviously going to be a problem, causing those long-term mental health issues, disrupting people's lives even further, and especially those children and families. I mean, that's something you have to think about is that there's kids there, and you're trying to raise your kids in a place where there's constant violence, and that that is something brutal to realize, but that is a different viewpoint of what's going on. Besides BRN wanting independence from the Thai government, there's also people's lives that are getting violently affected, which is also a huge problem. To kind of summarize, Thailand has some very interesting dynamics going on right now, trying to keep the peace, but violence is still very prominent. So that's kind of a big problem. It weighs on the economy, it weighs on people's mental health. It it weighs on everybody, and it is kind of just brutal. And understanding the effect that all the moving pieces have on Thailand and people's lives is key to kind of regaining peace in places like this. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys learned a little something from today.